Hello, everybody out there in internet land, friends, family. Maybe I'll throw this up on our homegrown happiness as well. So I posted something funny the other day about this big recall on butter. Maybe you've seen it. It's like 60,000, some crazy amount of butter that they're recalling because the package didn't say on it contains milk. And that just tells you how distanced we have become from our food to not know that butter. Of course, there are butters out there that don't contain any milk whatsoever. They're made of oils and all kinds of garbage. So you'll know if you look at some studies that when they started removing butter and saying that was the problem with obesity and health issues, our obesity and health issues have gone up. So it's not the butter, it's the way we eat and probably all the seed oils that we're using. And so I was sitting there going, well, how hard is it to make butter? And a few people I know are probably like, dude, we do that all the time. We make our own butter. I've never made it before. I guess I did when I was a kid. My brother was saying that we used to do that. My sister as well had a churn of some kind, probably. We had a milk cow. We did our own. So there you go. But since Kelly and I've been married, we buy our own butter. We don't do this. So I did. So I want to say, first of all, this is my little journey. I'm not going to show you what I did. I did have a little clip from as it was making in the process. It's kind of cool. It makes whipped cream first. I've never done whipped cream before, but I could do that. I think you need to add some things to it because I tasted just the whipped cream and it doesn't taste like Cool Whip. Doesn't taste like Cool Whip. But you probably add some stuff to it. So, but that being said, first of all, a couple things. I have a KitchenAid mixer. That makes all the difference. You can even see it there in the background. I'm cleaning up the mess that's there. That makes all the difference because if you did this by hand in a jar or whatever, it would take a long time. And that's why I would say, you'd see the old butter churn and churning butter. And then they have, I think there was a paddle one as well. Take a long time, take much longer than if you have a KitchenAid. You probably could use a regular mixer. It's going to take longer. But if you've made whipped cream with a regular one, then you could. So here's we go. I'm talking too long. I'm known for doing things overkill. I didn't pay attention to the videos on how much heavy whipping cream that they were putting in there. So I bought two quarts of this heavy whipping cream. I bought this from Walmart, yes, because I didn't look other places. They said the higher the fat, the better. So maybe it will make even better butter. You can share with me if you do this, where you buy your heavy whipping cream, because I'm going to do this again. And so I bought two of these. I put them both in the stand mixer at the same time. Too much. Don't do that. If you're going to do it, do one of these. And if you don't use that much butter, you could get one of the smaller ones and you would be plenty fine. I think it would work just fine in the mixer and you'd have quarter of a pound, half a pound somewhere of butter by the time you got done. So I use two of these. Do not use them both at the same time, but if you're going to do a big batch, then you go get several of these this size or measure off of a gallon and go to town about that much. So I ran the KitchenAid mixer on high, covered it up. I have a splash guard. You don't need to see all that. It's over there. So splash guard is necessary, or a big towel that you put over the whole mixer because it's going to go everywhere. It splashes, especially right at first when the milk is getting going. Then it turns to whipped cream, then you're okay. And then it starts to turn into butter, and it is going to splash everywhere because the buttermilk is going to splash out. So that being said, big towel over the top of it. If you don't have a splash guard, if you're using a hand mixer, I'm sure you're just going to have to use a big enough bowl that it all stays contained. Ran it for, I would say, probably I had to take out half of this about halfway through. When it was whipped cream, I took out half of it because I realized I put too much in there. So, run it probably 10 minutes, maybe a little bit more, depends on what your mixer's all said and done. And then it starts to separate. Once it gets a good separate, it starts globbing up. Get in there, clean it all out, tap it all out, squeeze it, get out the big glob of butter, pour off your buttermilk. I saved it for Kelly just in case she wants it. And then I found a trick. So a lot online just show you using these ice water baths, and you want it as cold as possible. You want all of your stuff as cold as possible. Your bowl, your mixer, all of that stuff. So I stuck them in the freezer for a short amount of time just to get them good and cold before I started. So the ice water bath that you could use to do that, and see people use multiple ones and then they watch the water and see how clean it gets. I've seen guys use 3 ice water baths, knead the butter around in the ice water bath, then move over then squeeze it out a little bit, then move over to the next one until you see that the water is pretty much clear. But I saw this lady do something, and I tried it, and it seems to have helped speed the process. And that is, after you pour off the buttermilk and you've got the lump of butter, throw it back in the mixer, and then pour in some ice water. Not ice with it. Make sure you strain off the ice, but ice cold water. Pour in there a couple cups or whatever that you think that you need. And then run it again. I think at about medium speed is the best. Kind of kneads it up again, runs it through that water, runs the water around it, and do that 2 or 3 times, and then it was clean. So that really helped a lot. I went ahead and did a couple ice water baths just to make sure in my mind and see that the water was clear, that I'd done it properly. You could also run it under the sink. I know people have done that online. So there you go. I've got 2, like I think I said already, 1 pound and 14 ounces, almost 1 pound and 15 ounces of butter. I separated them into equal containers. We'll probably salt one of them. I'm going to ask Kelly what she wants to do and leave the other one unsalted. But I would love to hear, if you make your own butter, what you guys do. Is there something you mix with it that makes it taste really good? Because we'll divide this up into different sizes, and I'll freeze some of it because I didn't realize it was going to be this much butter. We don't eat this much butter, but we should eat more butter, right? Because that margarine crap that you're buying from the store is killing you. Get rid of that stuff. Go out there and get your tubs of spreadable butter and throw them away. We use, and this is probably even a better way to do this, we use butter that we bought at the store that's hard, that doesn't spread well, and we mix it with, I think she uses olive oil, and we mix those together really well. We put those in a container. It makes it very spreadable and easy to do, and we have a big container in there that we go through over time, and it makes it spreadable. But I would love to hear from you on that, but I'm pretty pleased. 1 ingredient, half and half, high fat, as you can find if you know of a place here in Colorado Springs that you get higher fat. I'd love that because it probably makes the butter even a little bit better. In the mixer, quart at a time or less. This was cool, and I'm happy that I did it. We are going to start eating better, and seeing things recalled online just tells me that there's crap in our food more than I even thought there was. Even butter. If it tastes as butter, it does not taste like butter that you buy from the store. It tastes way better. So hopefully Mr. Kennedy will help us clean up our food system and we can buy stuff in the store and not worry about it. Until then, we can do it ourselves. There you go. Peace from the farm.